Welcome back to a different type of video today. Today we're starting to build a deck, and I probably it's going to be modern, assuming that all these cards that I've pulled out of piles of cards I've got kicking around here. I've got hundreds of thousands of Magic cards. But I wanted to get your guys' opinion on what else I can do, or a way that, or something that's missing out of this. I've got maybe 12 cards that I want to start with. Usually I start and build decks around this card. I don't know what it is that has me liking this card so much, but this is a cool design for the Outlaw Merriment. But it is something that is kind of cool that I want to be able to use this. So therefore we have Outlaw Merriment, no problem. We want to add with that one another enchantment, but these, of course, both of them cost 4. So the Outlaw Merriment produces humans. Vigilant Justice deals damage to any target when a human enters the battlefield. So therefore, Outlaw Merriment, no problem. So we create Outlaw Merriment. We have the enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. You create one at random, a human warrior, cleric, or rogue. No problem. So there's our two main, probably the most expensive cards in this pile that I've got sitting here. But we have another, actually there's one card. It's another enchantment that is a lot bigger. So this is probably going to be a 3-color deck. So we have red and white, and I believe the last part of it's going to be black. But there's not much black yet in this, so there is an opportunity to find something else to add into this that might actually help. The other part of the equation was I wanted to be able to use Goblin Warchief. So goblins you can cast cost 1 less to cast. Goblins you control have haste. So with Goblin Warchief in, and if we use Crinkle Warboss, the Warboss itself is a Goblin Warrior. It costs 4, so it goes along the lines with the rest of the 4 costs. But once the Warchief is out, it'll cost 3 to bring out. And his ability can be used when he's summoned once the Warchief has its ability in play where all goblins have haste. No problem. So while we're waiting for the aspects of things being created, or not created and that sort of thing, but brought out, so land-wise, we have simple spells like Raise the Alarm. So we bring in 2 white soldier creatures tokens into play, and it costs 2. No majors, you get 2 1/1 creatures. And another one here, so another one costs 2. Create 2 colorless servo artifact creatures tokens. No majors, cost 2 to bring out 2 creatures. Then we have another one here. We have Gather the Townfolk, which puts 2 1/1 human creatures tokens into the battlefield. But if you have 5 or less life, put 5 tokens into the battlefield instead. So yeah, a lot of these are sorceries, no problems. But another one here would be another dragon fodder, would be a good concept too, because we have the Krinko and the Warchief out. That dragon fodder would be good to put 2 1/1 red goblin creatures tokens onto the battlefield. So that will help with the building of goblins. But another part of it, well, actually, here's one else that it's a little bit more expensive. It costs 4 to bring out, but it says put 4 1/1 red goblin creatures tokens onto the battlefield. No majors. There we go, another 4 more creatures. But it says here, whenever another goblin you control put into the graveyard from play, you may have Bogarts deal 1 damage to any player, or to target player. So there's a tribal enchantment for goblins, which is probably kind of neat. But on top of that, because we're putting a lot of weenie creatures onto the battlefield, I thought Impact Tremors would be good. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Impact Tremors deals 1 damage to each opponent. This would probably help better for, I guess, multiple players instead of one-on-ones. Maybe this is what this is built towards. I don't know. But we have Impact Tremors. So that's no majors. But because we're having a lot of token creatures created, here's a cheap enchantment that creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. That helps. Is there a card out there that red, white, or black that gives our creatures, I'm going to say, if this gives it vigilance, I want flying. Can we have flying goblins? Or do I have to include blue into this pile of stuff? I don't know. That's what I'm asking. And then, okay, well, here's one of the expensive. Here's a more expensive enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, yes. So if you make a pile of goblins and attack with them, there you go. The defending player now loses a bunch of life and you gain a bunch of life. To be able to bring this card out later in a game would be kind of cool. It costs 5 to bring out, and it's costly. If you can, I need to be able to control the board a little bit. I need help either controlling the board or vamping up the mana without including green in this pile. Another card that I thought would be cool for this deck in that sort of aspects, with it being a modern type deck, is this one here. This is the last card I've pulled out for this. There's one other card I was thinking about. Oh, Mortify would be a good way to get rid of creatures and enchantments. But here's the last card, and this is what brought me the thought process of a lot of weenie creatures, a lot of baby creatures and that sort of thing. Yes, it hurts against when you play board wipe decks in that sort of sense, but it is what it is. This is built around a lot of quick creatures coming out, a lot of fast creatures in that sort of aspects because of the cost of 2 to bring out 2 creatures. And then you can bump them up with the enchantments of the, what you call it? Intangible Virtue. So you have this one bumping up your creatures and that sort of thing. People won't understand why it's there, but maybe they will. I don't know. But the other one here is, this one deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control. So you get 20 goblins on the board, and you play this card against them. It only costs 3. It's an instant, can be played anytime. Assuming they're not playing blue counterspell type deck that controls it that way. You have a bunch of creatures out. Maybe there's another card out there, goblins or humans or whatever. You built a small army. Play this. Hit them for 20 life and whatever. You gain the 20 life, even if you don't kill them without 20. It might be good. So what I've done is I have a start of a deck, maybe. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's a lot of hearsay and maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Or this could be a really good start to a commander deck by that matter, where I can start adding some direct damage spells to get rid of creatures or add a few more enchantments that will help prevent certain things from a game and whatever. I don't know. I'm asking you guys out there to help me find some cards that would actually work good for this sort of deck idea that I'm starting to create. I don't know. It could work wonders or it could be crap. I don't know. Half these cards are in um, Magic Arena, and half the cards aren't. So I can't test it without testing it in paper format. So I bring it to you guys out in the world, and hopefully you guys can give me an answer of what you think could be added or what um, it could be garbage. I don't know. The only way to test it is to finish building it, and I need help finish building it. I think 10 minutes or 11 minutes is long enough to ramble on, so I'm going to end it now. Feel free to leave me a comment and let me know card names that might be good or what format you think something like this might actually do good in. I don't know, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.